Hello and welcome to This Week in Movies. We're just going to be unpacking some of the biggest stories throughout the week. And this week, fortunately, we had a ton of comic book movie news. In particular, of course, usually when it's comic book movies, it means Marvel and it means Warner Bros. DC, something going on with those two. And this week it was more just like Marvel consistently just dunking all over Warner Brothers and DC. So it all started Monday morning when Marvel decided to surprise release the first trailer for Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings, which this preview looks incredible. There's all sorts of cool stuff and intense action sequences going on. It looks like it's going to be a more realistic portrayal of the Ten Rings and the Mandarin, which was a huge, not controversy, but like it was a sticking point to a lot of people and how they felt about Iron Man 3, where the Mandarin was kind of used as like this plot twist where it turns out, Ben Kingsley was just an actor that was portraying the Mandarin. So this is going to be a lot more true to the actual story and the actual characters. It's another huge step for inclusion in movies as well, as it's going to be the first superhero movie with an almost all but majority Asian American and Asian cast, and just it looks incredible. It looks like it's going to be just a great introduction for the character. And you always hear people say, "Oh, I don't know if audiences will like if this trailer is any indication." With at the end there's this sequence on a bus. It just looks like this is going to be just yet another Marvel crowd pleasing type of blockbuster. So they put this out Monday morning and immediately all sorts of buzz going on. People were very excited about almost everything. They were a little disappointed about Awkwafina, but I'm not going to unpack all that. So people were really excited about this. So DC, Warner Brothers, were like, well, we can't just stand by and let Marvel own this here. Let's do something of our own. So they have Andy Muschietti, who directed the It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 films. He is making the Flash movie, and they had him go to his Instagram to post the first look at the Flash movie logo and announce that they had started production, which not quite as exciting as a movie trailer for a brand new superhero that is yet to be portrayed. Can't complain. It's a logo. Hey, we got the new. I don't know how many people were sitting around like, damn it, I want to see that Flash logo, but it's here, and it I guess sparked some controversy because they changed the lightning from blue to just like a more like orange red type of hue, which I guess is supposed to show that they're moving out of the Snyderverse side of things, which then, of course, because anytime Warner Brothers or DC does anything now, within like 5 minutes, Restore the Snyderverse was trending, which you could tell me that any point at any time in this world, 10,000 people are tweeting about the Snyderverse from a given area, and I would believe it without second thought. Like, I feel like every time I check Twitter or anything to Google, hey, what's going on? What's trending today? I feel like 9 times out of 10, Restore the Snyderverse is there in some way, shape, or form. But this time it was really fruitful because we did get to learn an absolutely amazing fact about Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which is it almost had a worse title. The original title that Snyder wanted, he said, guys, can't we just do something like Son of Sun and Night of Night and something more poetic? And I'm sure when he said that, every single person in that studio or that was near him probably turned and like had the panic of burning dollar signs in their eyes, like, no, Batman, Superman, that non-negotiable. Have to have both of those in the title here for this movie. But you know what? With that in mind, release the Snyder cut of Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, you cowards. Come on. Clearly he didn't get to complete his vision here, so let's chop. Let's let him finish his true vision of Batman vs. Superman. Or should I say, Son of Sun and Night of Night. Come on, release the Night Sun cut. After that, after the Flash leading to Restore the Snyderverse, leading to that unbelievable reveal of the Batman title, DC went back up. They said, you know what? We're not done. We're going to get back up. What happens when you fall down? You get back up, right? So they get up and they announce that Michael Keaton has officially joined the cast of the Flash films, where he's going to be reprising his role as Batman. For the first time since Batman Returns, he will be playing Batman. And now, I'm very excited about this. I think that it's going to be incredible to have him back. I think it's really cool that he's reached a point where he's, interested in these types of projects again. Because I always kind of took it as like he was kind of burnt out on being the big franchise, like tentpole type of actor. I felt like that was kind of why he went low key for so long. But then he did Birdman, and Birdman was great. I thought it was a good spoof on this. So I was like, man, I don't think there's any way. So to have him back as Batman is incredible, and I cannot wait to see that. But this move does kind of reek of Warner Brothers. Like, we're going to read a story that Warner Brothers paid him $25 million to do this one movie or something like that because they need the Flash movie to be a hit. And somewhere in the story it said, when he was still on the fence about it, they were like, hey, let's talk to Christian Bale. Hey, let's see if we can get Ben. Hey, they were like, we need every contingency plan we can get on this Batman thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that, Keaton's going to do the movie, maybe a sequel or something, maybe something else, and then that's it. But we're going to find out they paid him some like ungodly amount of money for what'll amount to probably like an hour and a half of screen time across a couple movies. So I'm looking for that. I think that it's a really good get for them, but it also just feels like little brother needed something to shove in older brother's face, with Marvel consistently being, the preferred comic book movie to the masses, it seems. But who knows? It could be incredible. It could be amazing. So then, after all of that, that was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So after that, Marvel decides to go even further, and they dropped this cast list and announced that Emilia Clarke had been cast in the Marvel Secret Invasion project that's going on for Disney+. Then, it says here, she's joining previously reported cast Samuel L. Jackson, who's Nick Fury, of course, Ben Mendelsohn, who plays Talos in Captain Marvel, then Kingsley Ben-Adir and Olivia Colman. It's like they are just stacking this cast as high as they can. And Secret Invasion seems like it's going to be the type of project that really sets Marvel forward with what they're going to do in the next coming years. This is like the type of thing that's going to be another super ambitious undertaking for them. And to drop a cast list like this, I'm sure it's not just, these aren't going to be the only names, and I'm sure there might be cameos too. But just the cast list had people super excited about this. Had people like, oh my, what is Marvel cooking up here? What are they going to do? So they do that. Then they just kind of luck into the fact that Russell Crowe is an absolute legend that just goes around and talks about whatever he wants. And he comes out and reports that he's Zeus in the new Thor movie. He's doing an interview on, I think it was a radio show, and he goes, yeah, I'm just about to get on my bike and ride up to the set and be Zeus. And Russell Crowe out here just dropping absolute bombs for the MCU. This is 2 weeks in a row now where an older actor has just absolutely spoiled their involvement in a top secret Marvel project. You had Alfred Molina last week with the incredible Variety interview about how great it is to be Doc Ock again. And now Russell Crowe basically saying, yeah, I'm Zeus in the Thor movie. We already knew that Christian Bale was going to be Gore the God Butcher, so it made sense that there would be other gods for Gore to God Butch. But just the introduction of Zeus, the thought of Zeus means, all the other Greek gods. It means Hercules. It means we might start seeing even more crossovers to that end, with more mythology kind of coming in. Maybe it's just contained to one movie, but also the thought of, old drunk fat Russell Crowe with a big white beard throwing lightning bolts at things, that's the direction they go in it. I cannot honestly say I'm gonna be mad. That sounds incredible to me. So after all of this, a little outside of movie news, former police officer Derek Chauvin was found guilty by a jury in Minnesota for the murder of George Floyd on all 3 charges. It was a huge moment. It was incredible. And it was the chance for a lot of companies and brands to really put their foot in their mouths about a lot of things. So DC, Warner Brothers, because they can't just go, can't get swept on the movie front news and the announcement game. They put out a statement about the verdict that instantly sparked backlash. So what they said was, while this verdict doesn't bring back those we've so wrongly lost, we know that it brings us closer to significant change. We reaffirm our commitment to be part of the solution by using our platforms, content, and resources to advance racial equality and social justice. It's a good statement in theory, until you realize that they just spent like the last 2 years gaslighting Ray Fisher over his experience on the Justice League set with Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns and some of the other Warner Brothers high-ups. So of course Ray Fisher came out immediately and was like, what? You just announced the Flash movie that you essentially fired me from over me blowing the whistle on these horrible conditions and mistreatment. And now you want to put out this thing. So very big oof for DC here. So how he responded was, how fucking dare you, Warner Media? Oh, now I'm pissed. And with how open he has been, and the fact that so much of what he came forward with as allegations have been, corroborated and proven, it's an unbelievable, just purely tone deaf type of statement that, I feel bad for the intern that probably had to type it up and post it, because now they'll probably get just absolutely hammered. But I just can't believe that this. It's incredible. It's incredible lack of self-awareness. But it wasn't all comic book news being made by the studios themselves. Fortunately, a band of misguided, well-intentioned Marvel fans said to themselves, let's buy a billboard. And they paid for a billboard to go up that absolutely just, gets right to the point, right? Hashtag bring back Tony Stark to life. That's right. It had the date of April 24th, which I could not figure out for the life of me why, until I realized that that's because it was the 2-year anniversary of Avengers Endgame. Now, it's incredible, but it's also insane. Like, I can't believe the group of people would raise the money or spend the money to put this billboard up. And it's, from what I know, it's still up. And it's just incredible. Bring back Tony Stark to life by itself would be enough. But you consider, the first Infinity Saga was over a decade of movies. Like, it was a well thought out, well planned, I want to say event, but that sounds pretentious. It was, it was a well planned out, well thought out, well written, basically franchise. It was basically one continuous story of a franchise. And it came to the end, and Robert Downey Jr. has moved on to amazing things like Doolittle and, Doolittle. What more do you need? So I understand the sentiment behind it. I think, have a little more faith in the Marvel team for coming up with some incredible movies with or without Tony Stark. Maybe they lighten up and decide, let's bring him back here and there in like cameos or flashback type things. But to just be like, hey, Tony Stark is back, I think would be a huge cop-out that would undo, a lot of the emotional depth of the entire first phase or first saga of the MCU, if you will. So we'll get out of comic book movies now. There's a couple more things that did come out throughout the week. First off, this nonsense here. The Vin Diesel's been cast in a movie version of the Rock'em Sock'em Robots game. Now, I am on board with Vin Diesel. I want to make that fully well known. I will watch this movie. I will watch it no matter how bad it looks. But you couldn't just do Real Steel. Like, you couldn't just do Real Steel 2, because Real Steel is basically Rock'em Sock'em Robots the movie, except the robots, like, not even, because, like, who knows? The robots were mind controlled by people. Like, this is like, it's on Netflix right now. You could easily be like, hey, Real Steel 2, we got Hugh Jackman, we're gonna add Vin Diesel too. What the hell? Let's go for it. So this is Real Steel Erasure with this Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie. And I just wanted to say that, you know, we're on to that. We're on to you, Universal. You think you can just come in and corner the boxing robot movies just because you have an old game? We're no, not happening. So then, now we get to one of the craziest things, and that is the Sonic the Hedgehog sequel, where they've started filming. We knew at the end of the first Sonic movie that Tails would be appearing, and now we find out that Knuckles is appearing as well, and we found out that they use life-size models of the characters for stand-ins while they're filming. And, like, I understand. Like, I understand that it's, you know, it's hard probably to act knowing that everything you're acting against is going to be CGI. And it got me thinking, because I see these models and I'm like, be kind of hard to keep a straight face watching this. Like, I don't know if I could look at, like, a little Knuckles or Sonic statue and be like, we gotta go, Dr. Robotnik's. Like, I think I would break into laughter. So then I was like, well, what would be funnier? The big CGI model that just stands there, or the actors in the mocap suits? So I'm talking, like, Bill Nighy as Davy Jones. I'm talking Josh Brolin as Thanos with the giant cardboard cutout above his head so people know the eye line. Like, how are you supposed to act? Like, that is just a testament to the skill of some of these actors to be able to do that. There's one picture of Emma Watson and Dan Stevens from the live action Beauty and the Beast, where it's like he's just in a massive suit to give him the right bulk for the CG. Like, I just couldn't imagine. There's the famous picture of Sean Gunn and Batista from the first Guardians movie, where he's just in his green suit and Batista's just petting his head because he's the stand-in for Rocket. It's just, you know, it's incredible, and I don't know what I would prefer, but to see the Sonic one is, you know, it definitely got me thinking. I was like, I don't think I could with a straight face look at these stand-ins all day, every day for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks on a movie. But you know what? That's why they're the pros, man. That's why they are getting those bucks.